You want to start like writing?
You want to have themes?
Yes.
Wait, maybe we should.
Yeah, so, of course, I guess.
Put like plot and themes and stuff on the board.
Usually we'll walk in for like 5-10 minutes before Miss Wiggins comes, and we'll do our best to start right away. But we'll write themes and stuff on the board, and we just discuss, and we get pretty into it. So.
Yeah. So, right when you start reading, you can already notice throughout the first couple pages that it's all in a big sonnet.
Yeah.
Which I thought.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah. So like you can really go through.
He puts a lot of unrequited love, like how you mentioned Helen loved the guy but he didn't love her. It's like with Romeo and Rosaline. Well, he loves her or whatever, but please.
Yeah.
And it's like with Rosaline and Romeo. It's a lot of unrequited love. Why do you think he puts that in his plays so much?
Did he have unrequited?
Because that brings most drama.
Yeah.
Because he what?
It brings more drama than just, doesn't it?
I think so, yeah.
What does unrequited?
Unrequited, it's like it's one-sided, like one person is head over heels for one person, and then the other person, the person that they're head over heels for, doesn't feel the same way about them.
Well, I guess it's in there because this book is such a tragedy, and like, you know, what better tragedy than to have like one person love another and the other not love them back.
I don't think this is.
Well, maybe because you know how she's a nun, right? And so Romeo's upset about that because like she won't give out or whatever. And then if it says women, they may be excused for acting immorally if there's no strength in men. So he's saying that, I think, that Romeo's acting immorally because he's just like switching love like that, and that's not what love is what this guy is saying. And so he's saying, well, she can act immorally if you are also. So like, if there's no strength in men, why should there be any strength in women?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Also, earlier on that page 89, Friar Lawrence says that he says young men. Some lines like 71-ish. I don't know. It says young men's love and lies not truly in their hearts but in their eyes. Like I think he's referring, like he's saying that like young people like judge women based on what they see instead of what they like feel in their heart.
So it's lust, not love.
Yeah.
In your experience with love, wouldn't he know that it wasn't really love? It was just some boy being infatuated with another girl.
Anyway, I don't think that's what he's trying to say. I think he's trying to say like what happened to that basically. Like you have one focus and now your focus has completely changed in a matter of like not that long at all. And I think he's not trying to say like, oh, you were so in love, like, blah, blah, blah. But I think he's trying to say like what happened to Rosalind.
I think it's sort of like what his two friends have been like telling him the whole time.
Yeah.
Like they've been just getting so annoyed with him for like just being obsessed with this girl that they know he's not actually in love with. And now he's just saying it in his own way.
So each child is noted in my grade book on everything they do. I note every reference to the text they make, every insightful comment, every connection they make to an outside source, every time they interrupt, every time they are off topic. I note that in my grade book, and that's individual feedback for each child. But once a week I'll also do a group grade. And I'll say, you know, this class was an A class today. You guys did all these things, absolutely. And let's look at the sheet. What didn't you do? And they'll tell me. So introducing that really helped me find the balance.
So they'll die if they fight. So of course Capulet's gonna be chill because he doesn't want to die. Tybalt seems like, what were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say it's also sort of like if he killed their son, like they're obviously gonna seek revenge and kill their daughter. So it's kind of like,
yeah. We can just speak when we want to speak, and I think it makes you more engaged because you listen for something to respond to, and you try to understand what other people are saying. So it just makes you more creative, and it's not so like this, as much as it is like it's more liberal and you can actually think instead of just a question-answer format.
You also learn from everyone in the discussion. You know, someone else might have a totally different opinion than you do, and it could open up a whole new view on the story for you. So it really helps when you have a bunch of people saying their views.
Yeah.
I'd say that we have to wrestle with the material in order to get it
ourselves, because if the teacher were to give it to us, then we would probably, we'd understand that information, but we couldn't like think even further into it.
So many classes, I'm biting my tongue and saying, should I give them there? Should I direct them there? Should I ask a question? And just as I'm about to do it, a kid comes up with it.
But when I was reading, I was surprised we haven't brought it up yet. But on page, when we first meet the friar, on page 85, he has this whole sort of like monologue about, I guess he's doing something with plants.
Yeah, I didn't understand that passage really.
I think that's a really important passage.
It is. It's really, really metaphor.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Especially the metaphor.
Yeah, it's like an extended metaphor.
And it's like it has those two opposite ends. And then if like it's the same thing with men, like you have your good and your evil, kind of.
Yeah.
I thought it was. I just realized maybe he's talking about love.
Right. Yeah.
Because love kind of hurts you and kind of heals you, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because if you
Yeah,
go like
exactly.
all out, it can really hurt you. But if you just kind of keep it not so serious, like it's good for you.
I really wanted them to focus on the friar speech and the metaphor of the flower and love and hate and evil and good actions. And I watched the clock kind of ticking by, and they were talking about other things that hadn't quite gotten there yet. And I thought, should I direct them there? And then within a matter of minutes, Gigi said, "I'm surprised we haven't brought this up yet, but I think we should really talk about this passage."
So then here I hit it right. Our Romeo hath not been in bed tonight.
That last is true. The sweeter rest was mine.
Good pardon sin. God pardon sin. Wast thou with Rosaline?
Okay, should we
Switch it up?
maybe stop and talk about something?
Yeah. Okay, so
It's not just like clear, not black or white. It's like all gray.
It's like this entire passage is basically a foreshadow. Like, this is probably the slightest metaphor in a lot of works, because it's like so small. It's underlying. I think that he put this in, like a lot of the other stuff that he put in is kind of like, some people see it as just what, and they just go through it. They just they hear the play, they keep on going. Other people, the educated ones, they see it, they listen to it, and they know what he's talking about. They think they know what he's talking about. They see it, they study it, they like it.
It seems like he's trying to teach a lesson. At Sunday school when you learn lessons, like a parable or something. It's sort of like he's explaining it in a simpler form, like a complicated issue in a simple form.
The earth, that nature's mother, is her tomb. What is her burying grave? That is her womb.
They're opposites.
Yeah, and from her womb.
What did you say, Go?
They're opposites. Like,
It's like the whole dust
like,
to dust.
yeah, like,
It's like death, like birth and death.
Hey, doesn't that kind of remind you of like the ending? Because when they die, the piece like lives.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like the thing that was dead before, it's like good and evil once again.
Yeah.
Like everything on the earth, there's like a balance. So by them going into the soil and like their tomb, this new birth rises up, which is like
Peace.
peace.
Yeah, like
It feels really good to find something that no one else has actually talked about in the class, because there are times where I feel like I'm not participating as much as I should, or like not saying something as smart as everyone else is saying. But when you find something in the text that is like remarkable and you're just like, oh my god, I should say that, it feels great, because you feel like you're gonna really make a difference in the conversation. It builds a conversation.
it's really fun seeing how people, like, so many people react so, like, enthusiastically to, one or two sentences that you said. And it makes you feel really important.
That was to me the perfect example of so many years I would jump the gun, and I would hand feed, spoon feed to the kids. Here's what's important. And I noticed that 95% of the time, if I can bite my tongue a little bit longer, they know what's important and they'll get to it. But it's me having to wait and hold myself back a little bit. So it's hard. But I've learned through experience that the more I do it, the more I see they really can do it, and they get so much more out of it when it's them coming up with it as opposed to me.
I sometimes think if we're over-analyzing, and like even the authors themselves didn't think of this, and you know, it's pretty cool doing that.